Well, it's about football season, so of course we're going to talk basketball today. I'm Dave Morris alongside Jenny Carlson, and there's a youngster from Norman North, Trae Young, who's going to the Bahamas next week to do a little bit of work on his game. He's in the headlines because his upcoming season at Norman North may be his last, and he's just a junior. Yeah,
definitely. So Trae Young, arguably the best player in the state, a guy that, as you mentioned, Dave, only a junior, but he already has scholarship offers essentially from every big name in college basketball. The local schools have offered, but so have Duke, Kentucky, Kansas. The recruiting hubbub around Trae Young is as high for a player as we've seen in the state for a long time. But Trae Young said earlier this week in a story first reported by the Norman Transcript that he is likely to only play this junior year at Norman North, and then he's likely to go to a prep school as a senior. He's looking at one in Florida and one in Las Vegas, and they just happen to be two of the best prep schools for basketball in the entire country. He would get to play essentially a national schedule against other rosters of teams filled with future collegians. It would be basketball, high school basketball at its highest level.
You make the analogy in your Sunday story in the Oklahoman, which can also be found online at newsok.com. This is the equivalent in musical terms of going to Juilliard. You know, you want to surround yourself with the best to become better. We kind of look at the musical side of that as, yeah, they're prodigies, go for it. Maybe not so much in sports, though.
Yeah, definitely. So I think there are a lot of people in Norman and probably beyond who are a little bit, saddened, maybe even angered about the fact that Trae Young might be looking to leave Norman North and go to a prep school out of state. But, you know, if you're at the top of your game, and some rankings have said, you know, that Trae Young is among the top 25 players of his age. So we're talking about a guy that, you know, if you project that out, he's likely to be a first-round NBA draft pick. You know, he's among the most elite players in the country. And it's not a knock on high school basketball in Oklahoma, at least I don't think so, to say, you know, Trae Young, go ahead and go to prep school. There are very few places in this country where a prep high school basketball player can see great competition every time they go on the court. You know, I'd say it's probably places like Chicago, Dallas, Los Angeles. I mean, the list is really only about 5 or 6 areas that you would say that every time you play, you might play against a future college or NBA type of player. So that leaves great prep players from other places to decide, do I stay with my high school team, do I stay where I live, or do I go to a prep school? And I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but like you said, Dave, you know, if he was a virtuoso in piano and he got accepted to Juilliard, everybody would be cheering about that. I think it's okay to say we should celebrate the fact that Trae Young, a great player, is thinking about going to prep school.
He's focused on polishing his skills. Our Scott Wright reports that Trae Young, some of his strengths, if you will, ball handling, good size for a point guard, a shooter with range. He spent this summer on the Kansas City team at AAU, toured up. I mentioned next week he's going to the Bahamas. The Nike roster to work on his game. Not bad, huh?
No, pretty good. Yeah, he's going to be all over the place. He's going to have a chance to really hone his skills. And you know what? This Norman North team he's going to be on as a junior, they're going to be stacked as well. He plays with a couple of guys that are seniors that are also college-level talent. So this is going to be a really good team. And I think one other thing to think about when you think about Trae Young and the possibility that he's going to go to prep school is the fact that this hasn't been a guy who's school shopped. He hasn't hopped from one place to another. He hasn't played for the rival one year and a crosstown rival the next. He doesn't have people calling up the OSSAA every 5 minutes to say, hey, Trae Young's transferred again. Is that legit? This guy has been at Norman North since the start, and so he's been above board with all of his basketball. So again, I think it's right to say, you know, if he wants to go ahead and do prep school, why not? Bully for him.
It'll be his upcoming junior season. The other two players you mentioned, Lindy Waters III and Marcus Dixon. So that'll be a fun team to watch later this winter, I guess.
That's right. And if you want to catch Trae Young before he goes to prep school, this is it. Go see him at Moore. Go see him at Edmond. Go check him out before he ends up playing only on TV.
Go read her story in the Saturday Oklahoman and online at newsok.com.